Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now, we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or, your father was right. You were an idiot, and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over-the-top gore? Check. Over-embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Today, we are going back to the 80s. Actually, I didn't realize that. Our next, and probably when we do the drive-in shows, they're all 80s. I didn't realize it. They are all 80 movies. So for the next little while, we are going to be in the 80s.
And I am not mad at that.
No.
Not at all.
I'm kind of mad at this because I do not remember this movie at all. We are back in 1985.
Yeah.
We are going to watch Desperately Seeking Susan.
Correct.
Starring Madonna. My cousin. Okay, so the only reason I ever saw this movie and every other Madonna movie is me and my cousin would go to my aunt and uncle's.
Mm-hmm.
They were the most fun aunt and uncle where you went go-karting and you went to the movies and we rented movies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And my cousin was a Madonna freak. So not only did my uncle rent this for her and we watched it, it played a few more times throughout the weekend. I'm not a huge Madonna fan. I know a lot of her songs because they play on the radio.
Yeah.
I know she's she's an icon and she's done all this stuff. Her movies.
Oh no.
I'm not a huge fan, or wasn't a huge fan back then. But I kind of remember, I don't know if I liked it or it was okay. I don't remember.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I remember some basics of this. Now, the thing that's important to note for Madonna is I think this was so early in her career. She wasn't trying to be an actress.
No, she's being her character.
She's just being herself. And it works in this. It works in this so well. But basically, I think it's, oh God, what is her name? Rosanna Arquette ends up becoming obsessed with Madonna and kind of trying to not take over her life, but kind of take over. But she's looking for Madonna's character, Susan. And she wants to meet up with her. And she starts finding out about her through other people in her life. And then eventually they start hanging out. I think it's been a while. It's probably been since the early 90s since I've seen this movie. But I watched it quite a bit in the late 80s and early 90s.
Well, other than music videos and a small part in Vision Quest as a singer at a club, this is her first full-length feature starring her. For those wondering, let's take a quick look at the... Nope, that's not it. There we go. The quick synopsis. Aboard New Jersey suburban housewife's fascination with a free-spirited woman like you said, she has read about in the personal columns leads her to being mistaken for the woman herself.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, what a plot.
I know, right? I'd also like to point out, because God bless Madonna, I think everything I've seen her in, I have not been that big of a fan other than, as I said, A League of Their Own.
A League of Their Own, yeah.
Desperately Seeking Susan, I don't really consider acting because I feel like this was before she knew she was supposed to be acting. So it's really just her on film from the 80s. Her from the 80s on film. I feel like I really need to clarify that because Madonna from the 80s and 90s
Yeah,
very
completely
different
different. Yeah.
from today's Madonna.
All right. What do we think the budget was for this movie?
I don't think it was that high.
No.
I don't know, like
Oh,
2 million?
5.
Oh, 5. That was my
Yeah.
first thought, and then I dropped it to 2.
Now let's take a look at the box office. Now I would think that I don't think it's was a box office, but
I don't
there was probably enough Madonna fans.
I think it was a bit of a cult hit.
Yeah. Okay, so it opened on March 29th, 1985. Well, international made $523, but international
Amazing.
back then wasn't.
International
Oh,
back then was like one random independent theater in like the
yeah,
UK.
27.3 million. Oh, so it made money.
Oh, it made a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
Impressive.
That explains about the Madonna movies that fucking followed it.
I know. I know. They're like, Madonna makes money.
So on its first weekend, it opened at Jesus Christ, 14th, but it was only in 268
Okay.
theaters. Oh my God. Here's in order from 1 to 13. Police Academy 2 opened at number 1.
Okay.
Mask,
Oh God, yeah.
Friday 13th, part 5 was in its second week.
Mm.
The Care Bears movie.
Ooh. Of
Porky's Revenge.
course.
Return of the Jedi re-release. The Last Dragon. Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend. Oh, that was about that little dinosaur, right?
Maybe.
Beverly Hills Cop was in its 17th week and it was still at number 9. Witness was in its 8th week. King David, Amadeus, The Breakfast Club in its 7th week, and then Desperately Seeking Susan. But it had
Also,
legs, obviously, because
no, it did.
yeah, because it went 14, 13, and then it got into 760 theater and it jumped up to 5th place. 5th, 7, 9, 10, 7, 8, 8. So yeah, it had legs. So it made money.
That's
Good
impressive.
for
And
it.
I just want to side note this the Care Bears movie, because I just happened to look it up because I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure my former employer made the Care Bears. And they did.
Oh, that polar bear sign?
Yes,
Yeah.
Nelvana.
Nelvana, yeah.
Nelvana produced
I
the
just
Care
because I
Bears.
remember as a little kid watching Care.
But it was funny because after I started reading this, I was like, "Oh shit." The director of this movie, I actually worked with her too. Really nice lady. And then I started reading like who the voices were. Mickey Rooney, Jackie
Mickey
Burrows,
Rooney.
Mickey Rooney,
Wow.
Jackie Burrows, and Cree Summer. So Cree
Hmm.
Summer does a lot of voice work, but most people will know her from A Different World. And Jackie Burrows, Ed Hetty from Road to Avonlea, who is literally a Canadian icon. But anyways, I just thought I would give a shout out to Nelvana for the Care Bears movie. Thank you. I don't work there anymore. I got laid off. But I mean, if a job's coming up, if you guys are producing something, let me know.
This movie was directed by Susan Seidelman. What has she done? She's done this movie. Oh, she's done a few Madonna videos. Making Mr. Right. She Devil. That's not. I want to put that on your resume.
Yeah. No.
Sex in the City. She's done a few episodes now and then. A lot of TV. The Ranch. Stella. The Electric Company.
Interesting.
Nothing ginormous, but this also stars Patricia Arquette, Madonna, and Aidan Quinn.
Yes, who was and is ridiculously attractive.
John Turturro, Will Patton, Stephen Wright. What's his name? Giancarlo Esposito.
Giancarlo Esposito, yeah. Laurie
Jesus
Metcalf.
Christ. Laurie Metcalf, Will Patton, Robert. Yeah,
Mike,
there's actually
Michael Badalucco.
there's a lot of people in this movie. Now, this is a while ago, so I'm guessing they were starting out.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or early into their careers.
Very early into their careers. Because a lot of them really hit their stride in the 90s.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of curious. Like, especially for Aidan Quinn. Because
Yeah.
he was in the 90s, he was the sexy serious guy. So now I'm like, where? Okay, so he did some TV, but this is his third credit.
Hmm.
So he
Yeah.
did
So very new.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, very new, very early.
All right. Let's go over some taglines for Desperately Seeking Susan from 1985. What the? Okay. Every man is desperate to have her. One woman is desperate to be her, but someone is desperate to kill her if they can figure out who she is.
That is not a tagline.
No.
However, it is a
It's
great blurb.
yeah. Roberta is desperate to be Susan. Susan's wanted by the mob. The mob find Roberts instead.
Also a great blurb, not a
Yeah.
tagline.
Roberta gets to play Susan, and Susan gets to play around.
Closer to a tagline, it's okay.
It's a life so outrageous it takes two women to live it.
That is a perfect tagline.
That's an actual tagline. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
That's
it.
so much
Yeah.
better.
You stuck the ending. Good for you guys. Here's the poster. I remember the poster more than the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just Patricia Arquette, Aidan Quinn, and Madonna, and it's just the two of them desperately seeking Susan on the side. If you were around in the 80s, early 90s, and in the video store you saw it, you knew what this was.
Yes.
Absolutely. I would not buy it. I would not hang it on my wall, but I've seen it many times.
I would not hang it. I also wasn't a Madonna super fan. I was a Madonna fan in the 80s and 90s, but I wasn't a super fan. So, would I buy this poster? No. But my God, were they cool. I remember loving the fashion in this because it was random and weird and kind of off center. And I was like, this is fantastic.
Well, at the very least, I'm expecting a lot of nostalgia from the music,
Oh, yeah.
the fashion,
Yes.
yeah. All right, what do we think? What do we think the reviews are going to be?
I think people hated it. Not super hated it. It's getting 20% hated it. I think it's going to be closer to 50.
50-50?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's share. Let's share. There we go. There she is. Oh. What the fuck? Oh no, I got the wrong movie. It's actually 35 reviews, comes in at 86%.
Wow.
And this is okay. And 25,000 plus user ratings. Popcorn meter is at 62%. So they don't like it as much, but still a lot of people liked it. Do you want to go for the good or the bad?
I can do the good.
Okay, I'll look for the bad. You can start when you find one.
I'm ready.
All right.
James Berardinelli from Real Views said, blessed with the right script and cast, Seidelman crafts the perfect tone, a grounded whimsy that allows the fairy tale elements to take flight. Original score 3 out of 4.
Okay, a few scenes are very funny, but the picture would have worked much better if Seidelman had thrown away half the dialogue and built some momentum. David Denby, New York Magazine, Vulture.
This modern bohemian take on the classic screwball comedy, complete with amnesia, mistaken identity, and a stolen treasure treated as secondhand jewelry, is also a great time capsule of the New York street culture of the 1980s. That's from Sean Axmaker. Stream on demand. No original score.
This has to be the most overrated movie of 1985. 2 out of 5. Frederick and Mary and Spiritually in Practice. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. An attractive, energetic young cast and some witty off-center visual humor make the resultant laughs more than worth the wait. That's from Kirk Ellis at The Hollywood Reporter.
Fred Topple from About.com gives it 1 out of 5. Surprisingly boring and annoying 80s movie. Mistaken identity, blah. Nothing really funny happens.
Wow. He really didn't like it.
No.
From the Variety staff at Variety, all of this is cause for consistent smiling and a few outright laughs without ever building to complete comedy. Interesting. That was a positive review.
Paul Antacino from the Washington Post says, More central to the popularity of Susan is the way it allows the audience to feel hip. No score, just didn't like it. And I'm out.
So Time Out said, even if the plotting, a mistaken identity farce involving that old chestnut amnesia brought on by a bump to the head, is square as a square peg, Madonna has never found a better fit than the role of Susan. And this review was posted in 2006. So her other movies had come out by this point.
Yeah, because I could, who knows? Maybe I did like this more than, because I've seen them all.
Yeah.
And there's, so I could be blurring them all together because there are ones that I do not like. I did not like. They were even back then. And I liked a lot of really shitty movies when I was a kid. And there were some of hers that I didn't like. But maybe I got this one wrong. Maybe I did like that one.
I think because we both chose Desperately Seeking Susan, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Because I remember, because the other choice that we had was like, Who's That Girl? And I was like, I don't remember liking that one as much as Desperately Seeking Susan. So that's why I picked this one.
Okay. Do you want to do any more on the Rotten
No, I
Tomatoes?
think we're good.
I'm completely out. 28,000 IMDb viewers give it 6.1, which isn't bad for a Madonna comedy of the 80s. Actually, for a comedy in the 80s, it's not bad at all.
Actually, it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's pretty on par.
And you can start with 10, and I will go to 9.
All right. A classic 80s cult movie, a film that has become a legend over the years. Rob Silingardi, 10 out of 10.
Well, Nikita76 says New York, Madonna, the 80s, perfection, 9 out of 10.
Let's see. Ooh, a brilliant screenplay and a clever story with lots of twists and turns. That's from Gideon24, 8 out of 10.
Okay, let's see. Much better than could reasonably be expected. Ex-Rue, prisoner number 73772. 7 out of 10. That's what I'm hoping for. Much better than I thought.
Yes. Cute script and Arquette. JJ Dossie, 6 out of 10.
Good cast, respectable for a low budget, but such a dumb story. 5 out of 10. Quino, 1984.
Sets a new benchmark for contrived plotting. MJ New, 59, 4 out of 10.
Adam Johns, prisoner number 42575, says desperately lacking. We haven't had a pun on the name in a long movie name in a long time.
Wow.
But to be fair, this was the only 3 out of 10.
And here's the only 2 out of 10. Dreadful Fantasy. GCD 70.
We have Fuck Rascotop, PHUCK. 1 out of 10. What a waste of time. I might be drunk, but this sucks. Tiati, Desperately Seeking Talent from Peter 185. I might be drunk, but this sucks.
And then there's the one that you wanted, who just wrote fail, period.
Fail. Just a fail.
Just fail.
All right, let me find the trailer. We will watch it and we will. It was sending me to Desperate Housewives.
I mean, I get it. So much desperation.
All right, let's share.
She's a woman of mystery.
You can date.
A woman of surprises.
What are you doing here?
A woman named Susan.
Come on.
Orion Pictures presents Desperately Seeking Susan.
Susan!
My God, we all thought you were dead.
No, just in New Jersey.
Madonna is Susan. The hottest voice in rock is now the freshest face on film. Every man is desperate to have her. One woman is desperate to be her.
Everybody I know is desperate except you.
I'm desperate.
You?
But someone is desperate to kill her.
Killed? Come on. What?
If he can figure out who she is.
I'm not Susan. I don't believe it. I'm a housewife and I live in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
You never stop, do you?
Starring Rosanna Arquette as Roberta.
You know, Garrett, between you and me, what do you really know about Roberta?
She doesn't even like sex that much. It's impossible.
She'll love it.
You can date.
And Madonna as Susan.
No more dead bodies, okay?
I'll see what I can do. Bye-bye, Bruce. It was fun, huh?
Maybe you were the killer.
You were with this guy?
Come on. I was breathing when I left.
Get into the groove, boy, that's true. You're to me. Get up on your feet, yeah, step to the beat. Boy, what will it be?
Got a quarter? Want to play?
Desperately seeking Susan. A life so crazy it takes two women to live it.
I hate that voiceover.
That was a shitty trailer. My God.
It's terrible. But that's typical of the 80s.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. That's
They just
doesn't
had
mean the
terrible
movie's gonna suck.
trailers.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not Susan. I'm a housewife. I'm like, what? You're cheating on your house? Jeez, what?
I
All right.
mean, have you ever been a housewife in New Jersey?
No. I've seen Jersey Shore though, so I get it.
God, I love Jersey Shore. They such a hot mess.
Oh,
Mess.
I watched that entire thing on MTV.
I'm still watching. Actually, okay.
The original Jersey Shore with
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm now watching Family Vacation, but I used to work for MTV Canada when Jersey Shore premiered.
Mm.
And I had to schedule promotions and sponsorships and all of that. That was my job. So I had to start watching the show for work. I didn't want to. I thought they were all fucking morons. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you're going on international television and embarrassing yourselves. I'm like, it's disgraceful. I don't want to watch this, but I had to watch it for work.
It's like a
Because
car
if there
wreck.
was a problem, I would have to call into Master Control and be like, we need to switch this out. We need to change this. This is what was supposed to air, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, by the end of my job there, I was still watching it. I kept watching it. And now I love these people. It's embarrassing, but it's true. Anyways, what do you think? Do you think you're going to like Desperately Seeking Susan?
I don't think so. To be honest, the nostalgia. You could tell there's tons of nostalgia there. I
Yeah.
knew the song, that Madonna song that was playing.
I love that. That's one of my favorite Madonna songs. One of my favorite. Get in the Groove, one of my favorite songs. And the video is so basic, but I fucking love it. Because I'm like, yes, Club Kid Madonna.
I wasn't expecting this movie that I would have guessed that it didn't make a lot of money. I was wrong. I
Yeah.
expected it that I didn't think I thought it was going to be lower than 50-50. I was completely wrong.
Apparently people really like it.
Yeah.
I think
I'm excited about seeing it just to see.
yeah.
I'll be happy either way. If I'm more than be happy to shit on Madonna and Patricia Arquette in the review. I'll be happy to say, holy shit, this was actually a funny movie. I didn't get
Yeah.
that from the trailer,
No.
but
I think I'm going to be enamored by the nostalgia,
yes.
not necessarily the movie itself. So I mean, even from the clips that I saw, I'm like, Madonna looks so natural on camera.
She just looks like she does in her music videos back
Yeah,
in the 80s. Yeah.
she looks very comfortable. So I'm like, maybe this is going to be really good. And I love Rosanna Arquette. I think she's a very talented woman. Aiden, he's a hottie.
I think because when I was going to IMDb, I think this is where after this it made money, it was popular, and Madonna's like, "Hey, I'm going to act," and then because it looked like her other Shanghai Surprise and Who's That Girl did
God,
not
Shanghai
get as good
Surprise.
reviews.
Shanghai Surprise.
Yeah, so I think maybe I'm remembering those movies and going, "What the fuck is this?" And this one might have been good.
I think this one was a good one.
We'll see.
Well, now I'm
I
looking at her
hope it
movies.
is. But I'm like you, like Major League was good. And actually she did a couple in the 90s that weren't bad.
Evita, she did in 1996, and I think that was one of her best works. And she actually sang in it, which I was like, God bless Madonna.
Well, you might as well use, like, she can sing.
She can sing, but she can't
musical
theater sing.
I was going to say, you don't want to put her in like an opera.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, they made it work for her. And I was like, I can appreciate it because she sounded great in it. And I was like, that was great. And then, of course, in 1991, she had her Truth or Dare documentary. Right, yeah. Fucking revolutionary.
And then, is that when she appeared on like Wayne's World and stuff?
Maybe. Did she do?
See, I remember liking Dick Tracy. I could be wrong, though. I could be way wrong about that.
I don't think Dick Tracy was terrible. I don't think it was that good either. Maybe we should throw that in as is it streaming anywhere?
I don't know.
It is.
I loved A League of Their Own.
A League of Their Own is so
good. That was a
good.
great movie. Yeah.
God, it was fucking amazing. And she was really good in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And Madonna was great in it.
She had a great director though, and she a lot of that helps.
I think it was also it was one of those characters where like there's not a lot of like deep and meaningful let's explore our feelings for that character. So I think it was a very specific choice.
Well, she knows what she was doing. She made a lot of money. She's still making a lot of money. My God.
True story.
Yeah.
She is not hurting.
She's the one that married Guy Ritchie and ruined his directing career. Because she made him do that Swept Away movie.
No, sweetie.
Or is that
ruined his movie. His movie
by
career.
doing Swept Away. Yeah.
Them's be his choices.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Know your lane.
But it's okay because then they got divorced.
Yeah, and then he went back to making gangster movies. And
yes, and he's recovered for the most part. Maybe not to the same level, but pretty close.
Actually, he's doing that Mobland that I'm watching on Paramount Plus. It's pretty good. But I think either way, I'm going to enjoy myself.
Yes.
Because I'm watching a movie from the 80s.
Yes.
Lots of nostalgia there. I was just a tiny little kid when it came. I obviously didn't go to the theater and watch it. But it would have actually. No, I remember it got rented. It was rented.
See, I would have watched it on TV first.
Yeah.
I probably would have rented it in the 90s. Because I'm sure I rented it a couple times in the 90s. But definitely like late 80s, I was watching this on TV, on like City TV for the late night movies. That's where I was watching this.
Well, I don't remember watching. I had HBO and Cinemax and all that, USA TV, USA Network, but I don't know. I'm going to have fun either way.
It can go either way.
Yeah, which really I'm fine with. I would prefer to, if it's good, that's great. I will be pleasantly surprised.
If I walk out of this being like, hey,
that's not bad.
That was not bad.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the movie itself and not just the nostalgia like attached to it. Then I consider that a win.
Yeah.
But is it likely to happen?
No.
Probably not.
No, probably not.
I mean, it could.
And then I'll be happy because,
And then it would be amazing if our streak continued of movies that like we don't hate.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine going like a whole 52 movies and
because even doing Collateral, which I was like not my favorite, but really there was it was like one section of the movie, but the rest of it was great.
Cutting Edge was not my favorite, but I enjoyed watching it for what it was. It wasn't, but it wasn't horrible or anything like that. Yeah,
we still haven't had a movie that we've hated.
No,
that we hated watching. So
no, it's weird.
Let's see if the streak continues.
All right. Well, we are going to go watch Desperately Seeking Susan, starring Madonna, from 1985. And when we come back, we are going to review it. Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
I don't even know if I'm going to have to pay for this, aren't I?
I don't know.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now, on with the show.
Yay! Welcome back to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. The first part is the pre-review, which is pre-recorded. Obviously, now we are live on YouTube. Did you watch Desperately Seeking?
I did.
What's your initial thoughts?
It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Like, I was concerned there for a hot second. Then I watched it and I was like, oh, kind of pleasant. Should it have won any Oscars? No. But I mean, it wasn't bad. That's my initial thought. And it was kind of sweet.
Yeah, I didn't love this movie, to be honest. I didn't hate it.
Same.
I didn't overly like it. I got that fucking song stuck in my head for days now. I watched this Wednesday morning. I've been singing it since then.
It's
driving my family up the wall.
They're like, shut up.
But no, in the vein of Mannequin and Weekend at Bernie's and Encino Man, it's just one of those. The story's fucking stupid. Like, it's
100%.
so dumb, but it's so. It's like I said, it's like Mannequin and Weekend at Bernie's, just a silly, goofy plot that those movies made that were made in the 80s and the early 90s. Yeah, but I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. It's not my favorite movie, I'll tell you that. But I didn't hate it, which is surprisingly surprising, because after that trailer and after those fucking reviews, I was confused. I didn't know everyone. The reviews were good. The trailer sucked ass.
Yeah, but then I was like, is it just an 80s trailer, which usually sucks ass? And then I was like, okay. But then I watched it and I was like, I mean, because I remember liking it when I was a kid, but I was also a kid. So what the fuck do I know? But then watching it again, I was like, it's not bad. And they did what I think is incredibly smart. And it's the same thing that they did in A League of Their Own with Madonna. Don't give her too many lines.
Yeah, don't make her the whole focus of the entire movie.
She was not she was kind of like a supporting role in this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's in it a lot less than I thought she would be. Like, for some reason, I remember her being in it a lot more. And I remember her and Rosanna Arquette having more scenes. I was super wrong about that. But I mean, it wasn't bad. Am I like super excited about having watched it? No. But it's fine. Oh, look at that. We got comments in the corner.
Yeah. People can make comments in the corner.
That is so helpful, because I always forget to switch over to the comments and open them on my screen.
Anyway. Yeah, I think the other movies like Shanghai Surprise and Who's That Girl really focused on Madonna, and that's I'm pretty sure I didn't like them. Like I said, it's not my favorite movie. This was not geared towards me even back then. But yeah, it was harmless. It was a harmless 80s comedy.
Yeah. Like,
it was a laugh out loud comedy.
No.
Like, I didn't like laugh out loud or anything. Maybe the odd. Like, I like John Turturro.
Yes.
He was kind of funny. So, and
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Freaking out. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
There was nothing that I was like, oh my God, this is the funniest thing ever. And it's not like that.
And Rosanna Arquette, holy God, she was hot.
So hot.
So I don't know what they put her in, but she looked fantastic.
She looked amazing.
Like, I know everyone likes Madonna, but I'm like, get it back on Rosanna Arquette. She's hot. Is there nudity in this movie? Is it rated R? No. Fuck.
Yeah, is there nudity? Only I saw nipples.
Although,
many nipples.
Madonna in the bathroom and stuff. Yeah,
Rosanna Arquette in the tub.
Oh,
was a
that's
nip
right too.
slip.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was surprised by that. I was like, oh, that's a nipple. We're just showing all the actually, I made a note and I was like, oh, nipples. When you see Madonna like just changing her shirt with that sheer. And then I guess someone in the dailies must have seen it because later on in the movie, they put like a nude material like lining under her bra so
Oh,
you could no longer see the nipples. And I was
yeah.
like, oh guys, no more nipples.
Yeah, this was back before they were like, okay, we have to reshoot half the movie, so let's
They're
call everyone
gonna
back.
pretend the first nip slip didn't happen.
Yeah.
And we'll keep it moving. We'll keep it moving.
All right, let's go through this movie. And for those who remember liking it or not remember, yeah, the plot is stupid. It's just dumb. But here we go. All right. Roberta Glass, an unfulfilled housewife from Fort Lee, New Jersey, is fascinated by the messages between lovers Susan Thomas and Jim Dandy in the personal section of a New York City tabloid. That was kind of funny. I forgot. Like, there was no text messaging. There was no. You had a message on the phone or you put personal ads in.
Everybody did it, and it's so great because it's like there were the misconnections, and she's like, "Oh, isn't this romantic?" And Laurie Metcalf's character, oh God, what was her name? Why do I want Leslie? That's it. She he's like, Why do you care about that pervert? He's probably a pervert." And it was like, poor Roberta's like, "Oh, but love. Isn't this sweet? They're in love." And it's literally you were wearing a green jumpsuit and you walked by me.
Yeah. She is particularly drawn to Jim and Susan's with the headline "Desperately Seeking Susan," which proposes a rendezvous in Battery Park. Meanwhile, in Atlantic City Hotel, I can't even pronounce that word. What am I thinking? What am I looking at here? Itinerant?
Intonate?
Itinerant. Oh,
Interrant.
Yeah. Susan reads the seduction after a tryst with a mobster, Bruce Meeker. She steals a pair of the Egyptian earrings from his coat before departing. The sin is and everything else in the fucking hotel room, silverware, towels.
Yeah, she's a hardcore thief, but
yeah,
she's impressive. Like through this entire movie, I'm like, that's amazing.
The sinister Wayne Nolan notices Susan's embellished tuxedo jacket as she leaves. Arriving in New York City, Susan dons one of the earrings and stashes the other in her suitcase in a Port Authority locker. She asks to stay with her friend Crystal, a magician's assistant at the Magic Club, and learns that Meeker was killed at the hotel. Yeah, I didn't seem to bug her.
Yeah.
The guy she was banging all weekends dead.
She's like, huh? Well, that's awkward. Like, which I mean, I can appreciate. We all have those moments.
Yeah, we all bang someone and then they get killed.
And then they die, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
Well, that's awkward. I guess I'm never seeing him again.
Hoping to spot the lovers, Roberta goes to Battery Park and sees Jim reunite with Susan before leaving with his band for Buffalo. We also get to see, Jesus Christ, I forgot her, Roberta, hanging out with her husband. He's a hot tub salesman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hot tub jacuzzi.
Yeah.
Jetted tubs.
And they're at a party, and you see the people she hangs out with, and he has a commercial coming on. And I thought he was going to be a lot more douche because he didn't seem that bad of a guy.
Well, it's funny because we get introduced to him during the party.
Yeah.
Right. And then he's
at first because I thought he was going to be a bigger douche because he was kind of talking to a girl and he had that commercial.
And yeah, I was waiting for, oh man, this guy's going to be like extra sleazy. Like, don't get me wrong. He's a gaslighting, like, manipulator, 100%, who's very dismissive of his wife. But he wasn't as sleazy as I was expecting him to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was okay that she was, in the kitchen eating an entire birthday cake in the dark. I'd be like,
don't say it like you've never done it.
What the fuck are you doing? Jesus
No. We've all done this, okay? We have all sat in our kitchens in the dark eating birthday cake.
I love birthday cake.
God, it's so good. I don't have birthday cakes anymore. Now I have donut cakes for my birthday. Basically, I just buy a dozen donuts and stack them up, and then we all eat
And then
donuts.
eat them.
And then we eat donuts.
And then we get to see the guy that she's doing the ads with, the personals with, and he's like, "Oh, you were banging this guy on the weekend, and now he's dead. That's weird." And I'm like, "That's weird. That's your fucking takeaway. That's your takeaway from this whole thing. You're trying to get with this girl who just came from banging a mobster all weekend, and he's dead."
Yeah,
Like, yeah, the 80s were weird.
100%. 100%.
And he's like, "I think she's gonna settle down." I don't think this is. I don't think
I
that's
think
the girl
she's
for
ready
you,
to
buddy.
settle down. I was like, "Sir, do you know what she's been doing?"
Yeah, she's Madonna. She ain't settling down. Unless you're a 14-year-old boy. Later she follows Susan to a vintage. Oh, I'm sorry. Later she follows Susan to a vintage store and watches her trade in her jacket before losing sight of her. Yeah, she goes to the store and sees those are the ugliest fucking shoes I have ever seen. What the fuck?
But let me tell you, they are so super 80s.
Yeah, the
Like, so
rhinestone
super.
boots.
The rhinestones, the round toe, the really low like kitten heel, like it's all over terrible.
I didn't understand a word you just fucking said.
I
But
know.
They're
But any
they're
women
stupid.
who have bought shoes and give a fuck about anybody who gives a fuck about shoes, not even just women, anybody who gives a fuck about shoes knows what I said. And that's what matters. Because in the 80s, there was this weird obsession with the really low heels.
Mm,
Like sometimes they were just like little nubs. And you're like, why the fuck would you do that? It
yeah,
looks ridiculous. They're coming back.
yeah. People
People are
dumb.
doing shoes like that again. And I'm like, they were bad in the 80s. Why are you doing them now? And it makes me sad. It makes my heart cry. But anyways,
Did you notice the Michael Jackson glove? Like she had the one glove on
yes,
her hand. Yeah,
there's a lot of like little moments that you kind of see through this whole thing where you're like, oh, that's so like, because, okay, in 1985, I think the Michael Jackson glove was just starting to pick up. I think people were still making fun of him for that, if I'm not
well, Thriller
mistaken.
came out in 1984.
Yeah. So
Secret.
what?
I Secret Time.
Yeah.
I got the Michael Jackson red leather jacket and the
course you
rhinestone glove for Christmas, and fucking wore it to school
As you should have.
as I regretted. No, but
No.
back then Michael Jackson was so everyone wanted to wear the fucking
Everybody
glove.
wanted to, but the fact that they would have made this in 1984
Oh yeah,
before it became a trend.
yeah.
Like whoever did the costumes on this, like they were hitting like very clear kind of fringe 80s fashion.
Yeah.
Like the edgy crowd. This was not mainstream fashion at the time. A few years later, it kind of became more mainstream, but it was good. Except for those boots. Those boots were ugly.
Yeah, and I'm not into fashion. I'm not fashionable, but even I knew those boots were fucking
Don't
ugly.
sell yourself short, my friend. If you wear the Michael Jackson jacket and the rhinestone glove,
Yeah.
I think there's a little fashionista inside of you.
I should find those pictures. Roberta buys the jacket and finds Susan locker key in the pocket. She posts another desperately seeking Susan column to meet with Susan and return the key. Meanwhile, Jim becomes concerned about the column and Susan's connection to Meeker's death. He asks his best friend Des to check on her. Yeah, he runs a indie movie theater. I think
Yes.
that's what he has. Yeah.
It looks like an indie movie theater. He takes care of all of the films himself. He's got a job.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because nobody else in this movie seems to have a job except for Gary of Gary's Oasis.
Yeah. Gary's Oasis. Yeah. And then they go to, because I think oh no, waiting for Susan at Battery Park and wearing her jacket, Roberta is accosted by Nolan, who mistakes her for Susan as she is blonde and wearing the distinctive jacket. So yeah, she goes and buys a jacket. She kind of has blonde hair, and obviously, a hitman would fucking mix that up and like, oh, that must be her. Susan spots Roberta, but cannot reach her as police detain her for not paying for a taxi fare. Des arrived on a moped and rescues Roberta, who falls and hits her head, causing her to lose her memory and her bag. He believes she is Susan and finds the locker key, taking her to the Port Authority to collect Susan's suitcase. It sounds confusing. It's not. It's pretty simple. And again, dumb.
Yep.
There, Roberta finds the other earring, and Des offers the couch at his apartment for one night. When they arrive, they find Dez's ex-girlfriend, Victoria, and her new partner taking most of the apartment items, leaving him with practically nothing, including no couch.
That was a dick move.
Yeah.
Also, Victoria's kind of a, like, ice queen.
Yeah.
And very mismatched with Des.
Yeah, yeah. But that was a thing in the 80s, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was. Like, one of them was always super artsy and weird, and the other one was like, I'm an accountant.
Believing she is Susan, Roberta retraces Susan's steps with Nolan in pursuit. She and Des attempt to have breakfast at a diner where the jacket she's wearing gets her recognized as Susan. And all of this at the time, Roberta, because she hit her head, thinks she is Susan, but she has no memory. She doesn't remember she's a housewife named Roberta. They think she's Susan, so she thinks she's Susan.
She hits her head, and it was Des, because he's like, Susan, Susan, and she's like, I don't know who the fuck I am. Also, her purse was like it was round, so it kind of rolled into the Hudson.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. Which I was like, wow, you really went for that, like, Susan costume, because I would not have picked out that purse. But anyways, so she just assumes she's Susan. She doesn't remember anything. I'm like, that's super far-fetched because a bump on the head, like, you'd have to be bleeding. There would have to be like brain swelling or something. It's not just bump your head, forget your entire life. But anyways, we're not gonna pick that part apart. But everybody tells her she's Susan. She runs with it. And it's funny to see her kind of trying to pick out information because they go to the locker and they get out the things, and she starts to see stuff. And she sees one of those lovely Egyptian earrings, and she's like, hold on, there's this matchbook. Let's go check this out. And it's fun to kind of pick out as she's like, oh, I guess this is what I do, or this is. And then she starts realizing that a lot of people don't like Susan.
Yeah.
Susan makes bad choices.
Yeah. Seems I'm a bit of a dick.
Why does nobody want to talk to me?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
She and Des are physically ejected from the diner, but Nolan picks up a postcard for the magic club she drops. Okay, so she has this magic card that she got in her thing because that's where Susan's friend works. The hitman, or the art dealer guy, thief, gets that when she drops it. Again, it sounds more complicated than it is. When you watch the movie, it's pretty simplistic.
It's a very paint by numbers.
Yeah.
Movie. It's not hard to follow at all. They give you the information in little teeny tiny morsels, like they breadcrumb you. So it's not
me reading it is
more complicated.
Yeah, it's a lot more complicated. I apologize. Roberta eventually arrives at the Magic Club, narrowly missing Susan, who has been released from jail and discovered her suitcase is gone. Roberta is then hired as Crystal's replacement because Crystal finally has enough because the owner, John Turturro, I'm guessing, tried to sleep with her. After her disastrous first performance, Nolan attacks her, demanding the earrings. He escapes as the police arrive. Roberta hits her head again, this time regaining her memory. Dun, dun, dun. However, she is mistaken for a prostitute and arrested.
Okay, so between losing her memory and regaining her memory, they visit the various spots. She gets a job as a magician's assistant. She sucks at it.
Yeah.
But John Turturro's like, come back tomorrow. And
they paid her $20.
Paid her $20 for 5 minutes of work.
Yeah. No, probably not. And while she was sleeping over at Evan, is it Evan? Shit.
Who?
Des,
yeah.
They're both, turning and in their opposite beds, tossing and turning
because they can't sleep because of all the sexual tension that wasn't there.
No,
there was no sexual tension between.
She even know who she was, and yeah.
And he's
supposed to be looking out for her because of its friend, whatever. After her disastrous first performance, no, oh, I already did that. She's a prostitute now. Meanwhile, Roberta's husband Gary, who is revealed to be in the midst of a casual affair, searches for her. Is he?
Yeah, he is. Remember that woman he was talking to at the party?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's her. Anyways, his sister is the one. Well, her name was Becky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, he's a
and so she was
douchebag.
like, "Oh yeah, no, he's totally a
He
douchebag.
is a douchebag.
He's just not as douchey as I was
Yeah.
expecting him to be, but it's still a
Yeah.
douchebag."
I
But
forget. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
yeah,
I
his
forgot.
sister Leslie, who is apparently his wife's best friend, knows about this affair, has not told his best friend or his wife her best friend. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
can you even be a friend if that's what you're gonna do? Like, I know he's your brother, but rat him out.
Yeah, she turns on Roberta pretty quick too.
Yeah.
Like when they're
Oh, she's a
when they're like
prostitute.
she's a
When they're
prostitute
yeah, because
and tells
they
them
talk about
stories
the
about
affair,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe she's having mental issues, and this is what happens. And 4 out of 5 prostitutes are gay. They're lesbians.
Yeah. Yeah. She's a lesbian prostitute. That's even worse in the 80s, apparently. He finds his way to the vintage store and is given Susan's number. She believes that Roberta and Des are connected to Meeker's death and want to frame her. Susan arranges to meet Gary at a nightclub and accompanies him home, where they get high. Oh yeah, so Susan actually goes back to his house before that and hangs out by the pool.
Yeah,
has the TV going and eating his food. And you're actually right. Just having her as a smaller supporting role.
Yeah.
Like she was not horrible in this movie. So
No.
I was thinking of the other where it was horrendous I remember not liking it back then.
Yeah, they didn't let her talk too much in here. They didn't put her on screen too much.
They get her
didn't
just
give her
act
any
like Madonna.
Yeah,
Like
they
just
didn't give her any big emotions to work
No.
through. Like they were just like, look cool while drying your armpits, read this that's written in this book. That's her diary. Like it was very much be basic.
Yeah.
And she excelled. She excelled at being basic.
Roberta calls from jail but hangs up when Susan and Gary answer. After calling Des to bail her out, they discover his apartment has been ransacked by Nolan. Roberta and Des end up sleeping together, with Des believing he is sleeping with his best friend's girl. Yeah, so she knows she's Roberta and married and sleeps with them. He thinks that she's Susan and his best friend's girl, and he's they're pretty shitty themselves.
Yes, but also it's hilarious because she straight up tells them, "I'm Roberta. I'm a housewife. I live in New Jersey." And he's like, "Yeah, okay,
oh,
Susan."
You.
That's a funny one. And then they have the sex, which, by the way, when they were kissing, I was like, "Is this supposed to be sexy?" I don't think this is sexy, but anyways. So then they're all naked afterwards, and everything's great. And then Jim shows up.
Yeah, I didn't get this scene. This confused me because Jim's like, da 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 da, and Des is like, I kind of slept with her, and he's like, you what? You piece of shit. And she's listening to this, and instead of coming out, I'm not Susan, and solving the whole thing right then and there, she escapes out the window. I'm like, why? What the fuck
We
is
still had
wrong
quite a
with
bit
you?
of movie left to go. But also, can we point out that okay, so Gary and Susan get high at his house.
Yeah.
Gary is fully aware that he is with Susan and that his wife is out there somewhere.
Yeah.
He gets high and then he lets Susan answer his phone. Then he kind of answers his phone. And then he's all like, well, why wouldn't she call me? Well, Gary, maybe it has to do with Becky and Susan. And every other woman being on your couch. Perf. Anyways.
Two wrongs don't make it right, though.
They do not. Look, Gary is fucking around. Okay. And Roberta's fucking around. Like everybody's fucking around.
Des is not a good friend, which turns out to be he didn't sleep with his friend, but
he thought he was.
He thought he was and slept with her anyways,
which means still a douchebag.
Yeah. All right, everyone's a douchebag. Here we go. At Gary's house, Susan sees a television report about Meeker and Nolan stealing the earrings, which once belongs to Nefertiti. Nefertiti. She realizes the truth about Roberta from her diary and posts a column to meet her at the Magic Club. Des attacks an intruder in his apartment who turns out to be Jim. He confesses his relationship with Susan as Roberta slips away. She reads the column, as do Jim and Des. They arrive at the Magic Club along with Gary, his sister Leslie, and Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I was reading this script, I'd be like looking at the writer and director, like, "Are you sure this is gonna work?" This fucking sounds complicated.
It
Sure.
sounds really complicated, but
It
then when you
does.
actually watch it, it really is.
It's simplistic at its
It's so
finest.
simplistic.
During her act, Roberta recognizes Nolan, who escapes backstage. Des leaves as Roberta tries to explain the events of her disappearance to Gary, finally voicing her unhappiness and ending their marriage. Nolan threatens Susan at gunpoint, but is knocked out by Roberta. Roberta and Susan finally meet each other for the first time. Later, Roberta finds Des in his production booth at the movie theater where he works. She introduces herself properly, and they kiss as Jim and Susan watch the film below. Roberta and Susan are celebrated as heroes in the newspaper, credited with returning the stolen earrings. And believe it or not, that's our fucking movie.
And that covers it all.
Yeah.
But I will say this, even in the Magic Club, like, it's really funny to watch Gary, Leslie, and Larry. Is that Larry sitting there, so awkward, so weird.
Yeah.
And they were just like, we're just gonna stay here until Susan tells us to leave. Des is ready to walk out, and then Roberta walks out on stage because she's got to work.
Yeah.
It's time for her to be a magician's assistant. Nolan kidnaps Susan while she's banging one out with Jim.
Yeah.
On an arcade machine.
Yeah.
On an arcade game, which was great. Yeah, and then an empty bottle of scotch gets broken over Nolan's head, and then Jim comes through the window. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and then of course the "Come on, get into the groove," which I've been singing fucking repeatedly. We had
It's
to
a
go.
great song.
We had to drive. My wife was so mad today because we had to drive all over the countryside for hours just picking shit up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I sang the shit out of that song. And the more annoyed she got, the more into it I got. And the more animated I got about it. And louder.
Oh, God, you're such a dick.
So I had a good day. All right. What's your score for Desperately Seeking Susan 1985?
This one is a hardcore stream it. It's not terrible, which is kind of what I thought it would be. Is it super entertaining and really enchanting? No, but I do think it's sweet and it's playful and it's so 80s. Like so 80s. So if you're having like a very nostalgic moment where you're like, let me watch an 80s movie. This one's super 80s. It's pleasant, it's sweet. There is an underlying love story. There is a housewife rediscovering herself and trying to figure out who she is and what life she wants. Like, it's nice. It's not great. And Madonna's not terrible in it. She's pretty good. Like, she played the role that she has in it very well. So I think this is a nice, solid stream it. I would not pay any money to watch this. Unless there was a dance party afterwards that was included in the price of admission. Like an 80s dance party. That's the only way I would pay to watch this movie.
If you're having an 80s theme night, this would not be a bad movie to have on the background.
Yeah. Also, can we flag the fact that they had a VCR in the kitchen?
Yeah.
That's money.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like rich.
That's where she recorded her shows.
Yes.
Her
And
cooking
she was also
shows.
cooking
and
along with
probably
Julia
her-
Child.
Yeah. Cooking shows, and she probably had some soap operas on there too.
Oh yeah, 100%. What's your score?
This movie was not okay. I didn't love this movie. I didn't hate it, and it was just one of those goofy comedies that, like I said, like remember Mannequin, remember fucking Weekend at Bernie's,
Yeah.
and this is just you can bathe yourself in the 80s nostalgia of this movie. I would not pay a dime. I did pay a dime. I paid for an MGM Plus for the month, which was cheaper than renting it. So I got MGM for the month. So that's how I got it. But yeah, if you remember liking this movie,
Mhm.
yeah, it's not horrible. It's kind of like when we watched The Cutting Edge. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it, and it was kind of okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would watch it again. Maybe if I saw it streaming just to annoy the shit out of everyone, those songs came on. Yeah, I would do that. But yeah, if you're having an 80s or you're having people over and if you're a girl or girl adjacent, yeah, I didn't hate the movie. But I would stream it. I would not rent it. I would not buy it.
Yeah.
I don't want any making of. I don't want any nothing. But yeah, it was okay. It was
Yeah. It was, you know what it is? It's a passable movie.
yeah, it is.
Like it's a passable movie. It's something where it's like if it's already on somewhere,
Yes.
I will watch it. Will I ever seek it out? No.
Because I can't remember what we scored Mannequin, Weekend at Bernie's, or even like Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter Dead. I don't think we gave it glowing reviews.
No, we hated Weekend at Bernie's.
But I think I would watch them again or watch part of them. Just it's that power of nostalgia. So if
Yeah.
I saw this on a TV, I might watch it for a few minutes. Or if it's down the road, I
Mhm.
might, watch it again. I don't know. Maybe not the whole thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it in a long time and you remember liking it, you'll probably if you remember loving it, I'm sure you will love it still. If you
Mhm.
hated it, it's not as bad as you probably remember because it is
True.
passable and Madonna did a good job and everyone else in it did what they were supposed to. Like
They
you
did
said,
a
it's
great
not going to
job.
win any awards,
No.
but it is a passable movie.
Yeah.
And the nostalgia is friggin' huge.
Oh, still big.
Yeah, it's an 80s movie.
It's so 80s.
Yeah.
And it's very much that 1980s like Soho, Lower East Side kind of New York vibe where everybody's just a little bit weird and different and all kinds of different people are intermingling and it's all very inclusive and it's like it's just a good vibe.
Yeah. And I
And
knew all the songs. I didn't know all the words. But
I
knew
know.
the songs.
I'm like, I know this song.
Yeah.
I can't sing along, but I know it.
Yeah. So yeah, again, I didn't hate the movie.
Yeah.
Because I would probably get made. My friends heard me say this. I probably get made fun of. Oh, I like Madonna movie.
You're like, this
But I
one's
didn't
not
hate
bad.
it. Yeah, it's probably one of the better ones.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
But yeah, no, we are still on a roll.
It's terrifying. I really
Yeah.
thought this was gonna break us. I thought this would be the end of the streak.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be the one too.
Yeah, because I
But
was like, I was under 10 when I saw this.
yeah,
Like, I was a kid, so I was like,
yeah,
damn, I'm probably gonna hate this movie because I would have just been enamored with like New York 1980s. Like, it would have been enough.
yeah.
And shit, I still like. I kind of like it. I don't love it, but I don't love it. I don't hate it. I kind of like it, but I can recognize that it's not an exceptionally good movie. Like it's not
Yeah, it's not a
objectively
great. Yeah,
good,
no,
but
but
it's fun.
it's got charm.
It does. That
Yeah,
I'll
it's
give
got
it.
yeah, it's
There
got
was
charm.
something very sweet about this movie. Like at the end of it, I was like, "Oh, that was sweet."
Which is weird because everyone's a douche and sleeping with everyone,
Right?
and everyone's a thief, and
People are pretending to be other people,
yeah,
and people
it's
are chasing other people, and there's an actual hitman in this. Like it's fucking weird.
on paper. It's not. It doesn't. You don't on paper. It wouldn't read charming or sweet.
No, not at
Like
all.
if they did this movie now, these would not be nice people, and it would not be charming
No.
or sweet. This would probably be
It
a
would not.
better movie, but not
Yes.
sweet and charming.
And it would definitely have a more severe rating.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they'd be like, "How can we kill everybody? Let's show the guy being thrown out the window at the hotel."
Yeah.
That would be today's Desperately Seeking Susan.
All right. Well, anything you else like to add?
Nope, I'm good.
No. Okay. So we have two very hard stream it's,
Yeah.
but not hate it's.
True.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming back to 1985. This is the beginning of a long stretch of 80s movies. which we're not sad about at on any level.
Nope.
But thank you for coming back to this 1985 movie, Desperately Seeking Susan, and until the next movie we remember liking.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.